quick, easy and cheap meals that you can make your family. So it's Mother's Day today. Mother's Day is when I'm putting this video out on purpose to celebrate all mothers out there. Now sadly I don't have my mum around with me anymore, and today's video is quite emotional for me, but I wanted to share with you recipes from my mum that I still make today that are quick, easy and cheap for you to make for your family. So I really hope that you enjoy today's video. As I say, quite an emotional video for me because I'm sharing things, you know, from the heart, you know, from things that my mum would have made me when I was a child and growing up, and then things that the recipes that she basically passed to me for me to make for my family, which as I say I still do to this day. There are lots of other recipes, in all honesty, lots of other things that my mum did share with me. So the first recipe that I'm actually going to make is a sausage curry. Now before you say that sounds a bit weird, it isn't, it really isn't. It's truly an amazing, amazing meal that my mum used to make for me, and as I say, for many years I've made it too. So the next clip is me actually putting together the sausage curry recipe. I'm going to show you everything that you need to put in it, which is very basic ingredients in all honesty, so nothing, you know, there's nothing in there that isn't something that you could easily get hold of, and also quite cheap. You could also make it cheaper. Just such an amazing dish that I can't think of sausage curry, I can't eat sausage curry without thinking of my dear mum. So I really hope that by sharing this recipe with you, it's something that you really enjoy at home. So let's get to the sausage curry now. Some basic ingredients to make this sausage curry, really, really simple to make. So just starting with the obvious, which is whatever meat or vegetables for that matter, whatever you want to put in the curry. Now for the purpose of this video and the fact that my mum always made this with sausages, she did do some other variations, but mainly I always remember the sausage curry. So I've got some sausages here from M&S, just some really basic sausages to be honest. Again, I mean, not obviously the absolute cheapest sausages, but certainly not the most expensive. So any sausages would do, but ideally you want more of a softer sausage, not really the ones that have more sort of the harder casing on them. You know, just some basic sausages really is all that is needed for this recipe. So some other basic things to put in this curry is definitely an onion. Garlic wise, as much as you want really. I mean, it very much depends on how much garlic you want to put in it. In terms of, because these are quite a small bulb, I would put quite a lot of cloves in if I'm honest. Probably maybe 4 to 6 cloves in the curry. But in all honesty, it very much depends on how much garlic you actually like yourself to eat. So you can put as little or as much as you want. So definitely onions and garlic as your base. And then we'd be adding in some curry powder. So the curry that I actually use is just a curry powder from a weigh-in shop. Again, you could get them just from supermarkets, but I tend to get it, you know, just in a packet weighed out. And I just find that it works for the recipe. And that's definitely something that my mum did over the years. This is just a medium curry powder, so not too spicy, but it still definitely has the heat that you would want from this curry. Some basic chopped tomatoes, again any type of chopped tomatoes would do. And now for some secret ingredients, which are not that secret because you've probably seen it on a bit of the footage already, but mango chutney is a must. That is definitely something that my mum would always use in this particular curry recipe. I'd definitely say, in all honesty, my mum and me have never really measured it. Probably something in the region of 4 teaspoons, I'm pretty sure that's what I use. Follow along in the recipe and I'll kind of show you the amount when I'm popping it into the pan. It's not, as I say, it's not to be exact, but roughly 4 teaspoons would probably do it. Now the other secret ingredients is a teaspoon of sugar and a pinch of salt, but this pinch of salt is actually pink because it's sea salt, pink Himalayan sea salt. Doesn't really matter what sea salt you put in or if it's just normal table salt, just a pinch of salt. So these are the total ingredients. We've obviously got some rice here on the side. I cheat and do microwavable rice just because it's quick and easy, and why not? My mum did used to make her own rice quite a lot until the days when we used to start getting things like this, but that was more, you know, years later. Years ago when I was younger, you didn't get things like this. So you used to have to make your rice yourself. So she would always use Uncle Ben's rice that you made yourself. Now I've got a few varieties here just because I wanted to show you really what the types of rice that I would pop with this recipe. I have got a few different types here. So from M&S, we've got a long grain rice, so just a basic rice. Then we've got a basmati rice, which would be perfect with a curry. And I've got this rice, which is excellent. It's so nice. Coconut and lime and coriander from Waitrose. So these are the type of rices that I've used before with this recipe. So these are all all the ingredients that I'm going to use today to make my mum's sausage curry. So let's get started with the cooking. So starting off by cooking the sausages. As I say, I always use these M&S sausages just because I prefer them in this recipe. I think they work really, really well. So I just pop them on a tray, baking paper, baking sheet, pop them in the oven, roughly take about half an hour, but always look obviously on the instructions on the back because different sausages may take different amounts of time. I always tend to find that it's just much better to cook the sausages thoroughly first and then add them into the curry. So I've got my onions here with garlic, a little bit of olive oil. Just going to start sauteing these on just sort of a medium heat really, a good 5 minutes or so, maybe even 10 minutes, depending on your heat and everything. But yeah, 5 to 10 minutes of heating these up, and then I'm going to see to the sausages because they've just cooked, and I'm going to chop them up and then show you the next step. The sausages are now out of the oven. I've just started to cut them into 3 pieces per sausage. That's how I tend to just chop them up, into 3. Obviously you can do whatever you want in terms of smaller pieces or leaving them whole, whatever suits you really, but I just tend to find that this works, and that's always what my mum did before. So I'm going to just saute the onions, the garlic. I'm just going to turn that heat down a little bit. Saute it for, as I say, about 5 or 10 minutes just to get them nice and just coated well, just starting to go a little bit browner, nice and soft. Then I'm going to add the curry powder in. I've now added in the curry powder, which I'm going to start stirring just to sort of heat it a little bit in the pan so it does go quite dry. Now the amount of curry powder really depends on the heat that you want. This is a medium, sort of a mild to medium curry powder, and I use 2 tablespoons. That's 2 tablespoons of curry powder in this recipe. They're not massively heaped, but they're not flat tablespoons either, just a normal kind of tablespoon of curry powder would be fine. And as I say, I use 2 tablespoons in this recipe. But if you're wanting it milder, maybe put a bit less in. If you're wanting a lot more hot and spicy, then obviously you could put a bit more in if you wanted to. But I just find 2 tablespoons works really well, and that's what my mum always did before. So on a low to medium heat, all you need to be doing then is stirring in the curry powder. So it's just really sort of blending it in with the onions and garlic, but making sure that it's quite sort of dry so that the curry is just cooking ever so slightly in the pan before you start adding in the wet ingredients, you know, such as the tinned tomatoes and things. So yeah, just basically binding this all together so it's smelling wonderful. So this, as I say, is just so basic, such a basic recipe to do. Anyone can cook this for definite. So at this stage, it's just onion, garlic, curry powder, and I've got my sausages there waiting to pop in, which I'll do that next. But there is one stage left first. So for the mango chutney, I've just popped in 4 teaspoons of that straight into the pan to start cooking with the onions and garlic and curry powder. So I'm just going to start stirring that all together, and then we're going to add the sausages into the pan then. So it will be sizzling quite a lot with the mango chutney. Just need to stir it a little bit just to sort of combine it with the curry powder, and then as I say, we're just going to then start adding the sausages in. So I'm just starting to coat the sausages with the curry. At this point the curry is still quite dry, so then the next step is obviously getting the tomatoes in. So tomatoes in, sugar and salt in. So now I'm just going to start stirring this. It's obviously sizzling quite a lot. Just stirring this just a little bit at a time, just to really blend that curry in, make sure there's no lumps of curry or anything. So just keep stirring it. So all you need to do now is put it onto a low heat, cover it with a lid, and pretty much leave it really for around 20 minutes-ish, and then any time after that it would be ready to serve, in all honesty. But you could leave it a little bit longer on a lower heat, or roughly, as I say, about 20 minutes. Obviously the sausages are all cooked, it's just getting all the flavours to combine. But this should need stirring just every now and again, just to make sure that nothing's sticking to the bottom of your pan. It does depend on your pans, obviously. These ones that I've got are non-stick, so they're usually okay. So just periodically giving it a stir, but roughly about 20 minutes and the curry will be ready. All done. So many memories attached to this beautiful recipe that my mum always made for me and my family when I was younger, and obviously growing up. So I'm going to enjoy this and we'll get to the next recipe. My mum was such a wonderful lady, just so amazing, and the meals that she put together, often with such little money, if I'm honest, for for her and my dad and me, my family. I just think that she did such a remarkable job that I just wanted to put this video out there in terms of recipes that she passed down to me. Some things were through really hard times for her, and cooking these meals, it just brought so many memories back, quite an emotional one for me, but also really happy memories, because I think a lot of food recipes and things like that you've had from a child and growing up, I think is something that you just relate to such really happy times, and they're definitely happy times in my life. Anything that was food with my mum were definitely happy times for me. And for the final recipe, this is actually a bacon rice dish which has tomato sauce in and onions and garlic. Now it does sound strange. In all honesty, that's kind of the vibe that this video is probably giving, that some of these recipes are a little bit different. My mum definitely had her own way of cooking, and she definitely picked up some tricks of the trade from people that she would meet, other people from other countries and things like that. Definitely with the sausage curry, it was one of them. But she picked up things in her experience over the years. And in all fairness, when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of money, and my mum did have to just put things together. And sometimes those things that you put together now, you would just think, why would you put those things together? But it works, it really works. These are meals that I still make for my family now, and I really truly enjoy them, and I hope that you do too. So this next dish is, as I say, a bacon rice dish with tomato sauce, onions and garlic. But definitely check it out, it's amazing, I love it. You also put boiled eggs with it as well, but they're optional, you don't have to, but I definitely think they taste better with them. So again, from the heart, and definitely lots of childhood memories attached to this particular dish. So let's get to the bacon rice dish now. So these are all the ingredients that you need to make the bacon rice dish. So we've just got some unsmoked bacon, obviously you can use smoked bacon if you prefer, onion and garlic, some olive oil just to fry the onion and garlic in, and the bacon, tomato sauce, which is definitely the key ingredient in this dish. It definitely makes the difference. Then we've got some rice. You can use any rice, to be honest. Long grain rice or basmati are my favourites to use in this, and that's what my mum would have definitely done. The eggs are optional. I don't always put them on, but my mum always did. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, it just depends. But all you need to be basically making is just some boiled eggs. So the first steps are to boil the eggs. So just boil them as you would normally a normal boiled egg. Cook your bacon off, make sure it's thoroughly cooked, and then chop it up, just using some scissors, just into some smaller pieces. And then next we're going to get to chopping our onion and garlic up. So chop your onions and garlic up, use as much garlic as you would need to. It just depends on how you like recipes, whether you like more garlic or less. I tend to put at least 4 or 5 cloves in, so quite a lot of garlic, and a full onion chopped up. So now I'm going to fry this in the pan. Bacon cooked, ready to chop up. And then I've got the onions and garlic just sauteing there. They should look quite nice and caramelised just from the bacon being cooked in the pan previously. So your bacon, onions and garlic should look nice and caramelised. So once they're cooked through, then the next step is to pop your rice in the microwave and then throw the rice into the pan. So I've got 1 pack of rice in, and I'm going to pop some more in the microwave, then add that in and just keep combining the rice in with the bacon, onions and garlic. And then the last step is definitely the secret ingredients, which is the tomato ketchup. So the idea with the tomato ketchup is you put as much in as you need to basically combine all of the rice together, with the bacon and everything. Just getting it nice and coated. So I would use quite a lot, if I'm honest. So I'd probably say a good few tablespoons, maybe even more than that. I think I've probably put equivalent to about 4 in this dish. I'm going to continue to combine all this together. As I say, it's basically so that you've covered all the rice nicely with the tomato ketchup. So obviously use as much or as little as you would prefer to do. Boiled eggs all done. I'm just going to chop them in half and then place them on the top of the dish. You don't actually need to do the boiled eggs fresh this way. You could actually do them much earlier before you're cooking, and then have them, a lot colder on the top. My mum used to do that as well, but you can have them just warm, fresh boiled eggs chopped up in half, and then, as I say, just popped on top of the dish. This is the finished result, the finished dish. So as I said before about the tomato sauce, making sure that the rice is definitely coated with as much tomato sauce as you would want to have on it really. I always prefer to definitely add more rather than less, just so that it's definitely coated. It just gives that extra flavour for definite. And we've got the boiled egg on there, so it's all ready to eat. It's a really, really lovely dish. It's so nice, and it's so incredibly easy to make. And so many memories attached to this with my mum making this dish for me, for my family, and now me making it myself. So as I say, it's really easy to make. We're heading up to a year on YouTube here on The Brownie Life, and I just wanted to put something out there, something that I wanted to share with you from my mum. You know, without my mum, I wouldn't be here today, would I? And you know, lots of our mums, we don't always say and do what we should. You know, we should all appreciate the mums that we have, and sending lots of love to any of you that sadly don't have your mum around with you anymore. So sending you lots of love, and to the mums that are around today. Obviously Emily's going to be sharing Mother's Day with me. This wasn't obviously filmed on Mother's Day, this was obviously filmed ahead, but I just wanted to put it out on Mother's Day for a reason, you know, to put that out. You know, this is just a video for my mum really, and to say thank you, and that, you know, we love all our mums. So take care everybody, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, give us a like, and I'll see you next time. Happy Mother's Day everybody, bye.
I didn't want to say goodbye to you, but you're gone. I don't wanna close my eyes, it feels like I'm fine.